And we're back with Nick Huber, and he has a story that I think is going to be super motivational for all the young people out there. Basically, anyone who's trying to get cash or trying to figure out how to get money in order to start something. Nick has a story where he made $10,000 in one weekend as a college student with no money up front.
Yeah, I can't believe it looking back. And I don't recommend, honestly, it's a little bit shady, so don't put my name in that. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so I was in college, and my college town had a graduation weekend that was a circus. It was a small town, only about 30,000 people lived in the town, and the college we had about 12,000 undergrads plus a huge law school. And when graduation weekend is arriving, I think all the hotels and basically accommodations in the city are booked out about a year in advance. And like a regular college student who wasn't prepared for it, my mom called me about a month before graduation, or maybe 2 months before graduation. She's like, Nick, where am I going to stay? Like, can you get me a place in Ithaca? And I said, yeah, for sure. And I got on Priceline. I was like, I'll just book her a hotel right downtown. And I looked on Priceline, absolutely nothing available. And I was like, what's going on? And I looked at Cortland, New York, like 20 minutes away, nothing available. I'm like, oh my gosh, what's going on? Syracuse, New York, like hardly anything. Like you had to drive to Syracuse, an hour and 15 minutes away from town to get a room. And then I was like, okay, maybe I'll try Airbnb. So I got on Airbnb, and again, nothing, absolutely nothing around. I think maybe some people were like really price gouging graduation weekend, and there was a couple rooms available for like $1,000 a night. They could have got a place.
Probably sold.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do, Mom. And she's like, well, this is really bad. Like, you're graduating from an Ivy League school. Like, we want to bring Grandma and Grandpa and your sisters. Like, this is huge. And I figured everybody else is the same way. Like, it's a generational thing where if somebody graduates from an Ivy League school, they want to all come. So that's why graduation is packed.
Yep.
And about this time, it's kind of funny to talk about. About this time, we got CMail, which is like a Gmail backend to our school email system.
Oh.
And the email system set up where if you started typing somebody's name, anybody's name, an undergrad, like say you went to school with me, Max, and I started typing Max, it would populate all the people who had that name and give you their email address.
Wow.
Whether it was a professor or whatever. And if you hit tab, you could just send an email, which was really handy when you're working on class projects and things. But so I got it, and I was like, okay, well, maybe what can I do with this? And then I got on Facebook, and this was back when Facebook was huge, 2011 and 2012. And I looked, there was a Facebook group for all the seniors and all the juniors and all the sophomores and all the freshmen. And each one had about 4,000 or 3,000 to 4,000 people in it, which was almost everybody. Almost everybody joined these class Facebook groups. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, well, all the juniors, graduation happened about 2 weeks after classes were over. So all the juniors and sophomores were gone. They all left town. So I knew that their rooms were going to be empty. And all the seniors were going to be in town for graduation weekend, and their families were going to come in. So I was going to, my goal here was to send a note. I was going to find a way to get a message to all the juniors and say, like, let me have my parents stay in your room. I was just thinking about my parents at first. Right. I was like, I want my parents to stay in your room. So I got on Facebook and I made a message. I pulled up on two screens. One screen, all the members of the class of 2013, the juniors. And on one screen, I had my CMail. So I was typing in the names and like mining the email addresses. So I was stealing the email addresses from the service of the juniors. I did it about 400 names. And I was like, okay, this is 400 people. Like one of these is going to hit. And I went on my email and I sent an email. I sent a note to them. And like, hey, my parents are coming to town. They need a place to stay. Like, would you be interested in renting your room? Like, we'll pay $40 per room per night. And we're looking for a 3-bedroom place if all 3 roommates will leave. And I sent the email. And I went to track practice, and I came back like 4 hours later, and like 20 of the 400 had responded. And they're all like, yeah, I got rooms. Like, you can definitely stay here. Wow. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what is going on? So the next thought, I was like, so I tied down the best place, like in the right downtown. Like I tied it down for my parents. My mom sent me the money, and I sent the money to them. And it was easy. It was done. Like my parents had a place to stay. I convinced them to clean it all up nice. And it was right in the peak of college town, like ideal for $40 a night.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, hold on a second.
So how long did it take before you, after receiving those 40 emails, that you're like, okay, I could make some money off of this?
20 minutes, maybe less, like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
So basically what I did was I spent the next 20 hours mining all the emails of the sophomores and juniors as well. So I went in the Facebook groups and I would just type and type and type into the evening. Like for 4 or 5 nights in a row, I got all these email addresses. Before I knew it, I had about 6,500 emails of sophomores and juniors who I knew were not graduating and I knew lived somewhere nearby. And I drafted I got a note here of what I sent them. I was like, my family and a few classmates' families are looking for a place to stay on graduation weekend. If you'll be gone that weekend and you'd be interested in renting out your apartment, send me a message. And I had to download some kind of back end like email sending software like SendGrid. I downloaded a copy of it illegally. I sent this email to the 6,500 emails or whatever, and just waited. And then like 5 seconds later, like one email comes in, and then another one, and then another one, and then another one, and another one. And before I knew it, I had like 400 emails in my inbox from people like, okay, I got a room. And I was like, okay, so should I offer him $40 a night or should I offer him less? Like, I don't know what to do. So basically I just went through and picked out the best ones and tried to get a bunch of empty rooms. And I was like, I can't guarantee anything, but would you take this price? And are you all going to be gone? I made a big spreadsheet of all the rooms that were available, where they were. And I was like, okay, so now I got to get the seniors. So I got on Facebook again and I stole all the seniors' email addresses who were about to graduate, and also the law students, seniors as well. And I sent them an email, and I said, friends, a few of my undergraduate classmates are offering to rent their rooms to the families of seniors during graduation weekend. If your family needs a place to stay right near campus during that weekend, let me know.
Literally friends, comma.
Friends or classmates. I think I said classmates. I don't think I actually lied to them. I eventually told them, I was like, this is not a direct friend of mine, but it is a student at Cornell.
Yeah.
So I sent it out. And even more emails came in. I think like 600 emails came in of people like, yes, we need places to stay.
Wow.
So I just started brokering rooms. I started selling them for $100 a night and giving the person, $30 or $40 a night for these rooms. The big thing was the cleanliness. I had to basically tell all the people who are renting the rooms, I mean, yes, you're getting sub-market prices on this stuff, and yes, you're going to save some money, but you're going to need to bring all your own linens. You're going to need to bring all your own towels, and it's not going to be that clean. Like if you need really, really clean, this is not for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was all about managing expectations big time, like emailing. And then for the people who are moving out, I'm like, I'm only paying you after I come and inspect it, and it is spotless. Like you have to have all your stuff torn off the bed. You have to have your kitchen clean. You have to have your bathrooms clean. And I'm going to come and look at it. I did not end up looking at a single one. But I was like, this is what you're going to have to do to get paid. And so I set them all up. I connected. I got the PayPal payment for the rooms from the people. And then I sent it to so I got the money, paid the people with the rooms, and then I connected them by email. And that's all I did. That's all I did.
And then they meet up.
They met up. They did the keys. I did deal with a couple disasters where some people had paid me and the people didn't have the room ready, but I had rented like 2 or 3 extra, so it was no big deal. And the data on this I have down here.
So did anyone like communicate with each other like, hey, I paid $100, you're getting 40?
I don't know.
No complaints.
No complaints.
Well,
for me. So yeah, it was crazy. It was a crazy weekend. I ended up with $10,000 from brokering. I brokered about 60 rooms, which wasn't 60 different deals. Like some rooms were 4-bedroom apartments.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it wasn't as much work as you would think. And I made $10,000. I bought an engagement ring for my wife with that money.
So straight profit, $10,000.
Yeah, it was
But
fun.
that's the thing right there, is just seizing the opportunity, because so many people would have been like, oh, wow, there's a lot of people who emailed me back. That's crazy.
And just left it at
Yeah.
that.
Just left it.
Yep.
But it's just, you find that opportunity. I mean, you hear the story with so many like businesses that have started. Someone is trying to fulfill their own need, and then they realize, oh, wait, there's all these other people who have this same need. Let me look into this.
Yeah. Yes, I got really excited for a while. I bought a domain and I wanted to build a business around that idea, but I realized really quickly that it was going to be not that scalable. And I had another business already that I had started. Storage Squad was almost a year old. So I decided not to go after it, but it was just one of the many little irons in the fire, I guess you would say, with entrepreneurship, where you see a little opportunity where most people would just forget about it. I buckled down for 30 hours typing away tirelessly while all my friends were drinking beer.
Yeah.
And
it's so motivational.
Yeah, so I think it was a total of about 40 hours work probably, and I made $10,000. So what's that hourly wage?
What is that? 400?
I don't know. Yeah, a couple $100 an hour, which is pretty crazy as a college student, and I didn't spend a single dollar.
And the time would have gone by either way.
Yep.
You wouldn't even remember what you did in that time.
I would probably drink some more beers with my buddies and
Yeah.
played some extra beer pong downstairs. Well, because I could hear him. Like when I was typing, I could hear him down there playing beer games and having a blast. And I was kind of jealous at that time. But they were all pretty jealous when I had all that money in my PayPal account.
You're right. What? That's
So,
awesome.
It was fun.
That's a great story. All right. And we're back with put that in a blooper reel.